Hey everybody, hope you guys are all having a great day. Got a lot of things to cover here today. As usual, feel free to ask questions throughout the stream. I like to make them interactive to, whether that's chart requests or not. I'll take breaks throughout the stream, and then towards the end, there's specific charts that, we want to cover. We'll be glad to do that. But yeah, this is definitely, I want to start off by just saying that this is probably the hardest time I've seen in the crypto space and the most confusing time since I really started analyzing the charts back in 2017. So, if you're feeling down or if you're feeling confused, just know that nobody knows what's going on right now in the least bit. Everybody's just trying to guess as usual. Analysts are doing their best to make their, best kind of projection of what we're entering and the price action that we've seen. But I just want to make it clear that this is a very confusing and very hard market right now, just with everything that's going on with the government, with Trump, with all these projects, all the meme coins. It's really just a confusing time. I see Max said audio is pretty low. Well, let me know, guys. Is audio okay? Let me know if audio looks like it's fine on my end. I could try to push it up here a bit. Bump it up a little bit. Okay. Tell me if that's good now. How is that? Is that a little bit better? Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, the first thing, I got a bunch of things up here. As we can see, I'm going to start off in the browser. I got a lot of stuff up here just to kind of show us, where are we in this cycle? Is this cycle even the same? Are we even in a cycle anymore? That's something that I've been really pondering myself. I tend to believe that this 4-year cycle is actually probably already broken, and we just haven't figured it out yet. So I have a lot of different things here I want to cover. But the first thing I want to go over here, I'm sure some of you guys saw me post this. And just so you know, like I said, I'm going to go over a bunch of random analysis, random insights on here, and then we'll bump into the charts and, kind of go a little bit more nitty gritty on what I'm looking at, for the next week, next 2 weeks, next month. And as usual, feel free to ask questions. I'll glance over once in a while and take some breaks to cover those. So the first thing I want to cover here is this is the altcoin open interest. And this is very, very interesting to me because I made a post I posted probably last week, and I basically said, or not even last week, it was earlier this week. And I said, anytime we have a crazy wipeout of open interest, it usually is the fuel for the next leg higher, or it is the start of the bear market. And if we just look at Bitcoin over here, we could see this wipeout here. This was 2021 when we pulled back from, 60 some K. The altcoin market, this is looking at all of the open interest. So if anyone's confused, open interest is the total notional value of all perpetual and futures positions. So say you're using 10x leverage on a $10,000 position, but you're only using $1,000 of your capital. That's going to represent $10,000 in this open interest. So we could see back in 2021, the high was about 17 billion. So that meant $17 billion of open positions across all futures market and perpetual markets. And as we can see, when we had this wipeout here, of course, we consolidated for, a month and a half, 2 months. People thought it was over. And then we went on to set another leg. Most of the market did top right here, but this kind of proves that, you know, that was fuel for one more leg higher. Same thing here. We saw a big wipeout, fuel for one more leg higher. This right here obviously was the start of the bear market. And that's kind of why I've been on this point of like the lows have to be pretty much in or very close to being in my honest opinion, or we could be entering a mini bear market. When I say mini, I'm just not convinced that this 4-year cycle is going to play out as it always has. And the reason why is because these altcoins, you know, most of them are in bear markets, and we're going to cover that, but it's pretty spectacular what we're seeing. It's like 2 different markets, and it's pretty crazy. But if we could continue on, we could see this was the FTX wipeout. Crazy drop in open interest. We saw about 5 billion. Open interest got cut in half. Obviously, that triggered the entire rally for this, you know, this bull cycle. Same thing here. This was about a 20% pullback on Bitcoin. We had about a 35% pullback on the open interest. That, of course, triggered that next leg. This is when the ETFs were announced. And then same concept here. Little pullback gave us power for our next leg. This one right here was a consolidation phase, so mini bear market, kind of like what I'm saying here. Same thing here. This was the August 5th pullback. That was fuel for obviously our next leg. And then if we look at right now, open interest is 57% off of its high. So to me, I've been pretty clear that, in my honest opinion, the lows should be in, or we're going to enter a multi-month consolidation phase, bear market, whatever you want to call that. A bear trend, to say the least, you know, the coins that aren't in a bear trend. So I wanted to start off with this because this is pretty powerful in my eyes. We could see anytime we've had a massive wipeout, it was either the start of a multi-month bear trend or, you know, that was the low and we went higher months later. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? You know, do you think that the lows are in across the board? Of course, we're going to dissect it more. Or do you think that we're entering a multi-month bear trend, which, you know, could last until Q3 of next year, or I mean, of later this year? But yeah, so the next thing I wanted to cover here is just to show the funding rates recently. So the funding rate is a measure of how many people are longing or shorting. So when the funding rate is super orange, that means that there's a lot of longs. And when it's super green, that means that you know, it's a pretty healthy market. And as we can see, you know, the only time that we had a really bullish market, should we say, was back in November to December, right after the election, and then back in February and March of last year. So we could see right now, like, this market is not, people are not longing as much as usual. People are scared. People don't know what's happening next, and kind of just adds to the point. One other thing I wanted to cover here was just a random thing I saw, and I wanted to throw it in here, was the fact that the Coinbase Pro Bitcoin balance since February, so since we ran up to 70K the first run, their balance on their exchange has been dropping pretty drastically. But then if we look at what just happened here, it's pretty interesting. Somebody just deposited, let's see, 690 to 780. Someone just deposited 70,000 Bitcoin onto Coinbase Pro. So I don't know if they're just doing that for, you know, custody, but this is something I'm going to be watching here because you usually don't want to see stuff like this. You know, you definitely don't usually want to see stuff like this. And then if we go back to the all here, we can see the last time that we saw a spike like that was actually right before we had that massive drop to 50K. So I don't know, super interesting. I'm not going to say much about this, but I wanted to throw it in here that I'm going to be watching this because to see this big spike here in Bitcoin, you know, on balances on the exchange, pretty confusing. Not sure what's going on there, but you know, we'll try to dissect it a little bit more. This right here is just a heat map of all of the RSIs on, you know, a lot of the major coins. We could see the market is extremely oversold right now. I mean, this is the most oversold I've seen this in a long time. So once again, it adds to the point. We're either entering a multi-month bear trend, and that's why RSIs are this low, or that was the last drop, and the market's going to rally in the next few months. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll get some type of idea of where I think we're at. But, you know, I don't really see a fine line in between those two options. Glad to be wrong because this market has already proven so many of us wrong. But it's like we only could go back on what we've seen before and what we've experienced. And what I've experienced is we see stuff like this at the start of 6-month bear trends, or we see stuff like this right before 2 to 3 months of up only. So I know it's a pretty crazy thing to say, but let me just catch up with the chat here. Charting guy blocked me on X for calling him his copy paste TA, grabbing old fractals. Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Charting guy posts some good stuff. But you know, on my stream earlier this week with Wolf Crypto, I was kind of saying how like fractals, they're not working as they used to. So, you know, you don't want to put too much emphasis on fractals. Looking in the rear view is good for some reasons, but for other reasons, you don't always want to look in the rear view because it kind of could cloud your vision of what's happening next, you know? This is my first cycle. It feels like it's been constant leverage wipeouts along the way. Normal. I mean, it's somewhat normal because when I posted this chart back in December and I saw open interest spike this much, I mean, you guys can see we're looking at, we're looking at almost 5 years of data right here. I mean, look at how much open interest came on after the election. And basically what I said is people are way more interested in trading these coins rather than owning them. So there's not much spot support behind these altcoins, thus why we saw them drop 40% in a day. But people want to leverage long them for whatever reason, and essentially all the positioning that was put on since the election, it's now gone. We could see here's November 6th, here was the election, we're right back to that level. All of the positions that were open since then are basically wiped out. So it's a really interesting thing. Here's a few things about Bitcoin. This Chain Exposed here is a really good, super good website to kind of look at some deeper data. And I just wanted to show here that, you know, this cycle is much different. This right here shows the relative unrealized profit. It kind of looks at unspent coins of people that are holding Bitcoin in a lot of wallets and they haven't sold them yet. We could see a spike to the red areas has marked every single top. Look where we're at now. You know, we kind of put in a double top and, you know, we're going back down. So what to make of this? Not sure. But it definitely is one piece of analysis that says the Bitcoin has not shown the same signs in the past that, a top is in. Here's one other thing. I just wanted to show this because this showed the investment returns of each cycle. And people talk about diminishing returns, and they're not wrong at all. We could see, look at the returns. You know, this is showing like a DCA versus like a lump sum buy, holding it for a year. Look at the 2017 run. Look at the 2021 run, and then look at now. You know, the returns of this cycle are just, they're so little, so diminished. And unfortunately, you know, the easy days of crypto are over, guys. And I hate to say that. It makes me sad even because when I got into this space in 2017, 2016, it was so easy to make money. And even in 2021, it was really easy to make money. But now I see everybody just getting wiped out, and it's just not the way it used to be. And I think that's because institutions are in control of this market. And when I say this market, I mean Bitcoin. And we could see that with Bitcoin hanging out at 5K when altcoins are down 70% from their highs. So just want to say, everybody watching this, you guys need to be very selective of altcoins you're going to be holding. You want to hold them for brief periods of outperformance, or if you have strong conviction in altcoins that have some type of utility, that's where I think you're going to make money going into this new era. And when I say this new era, we now have a government that's going to have, a US government that's going to have clear regulations for crypto for the first time ever. Do we think that vaporware projects are going to succeed in that environment? Absolutely not. Projects that are going to succeed are projects that offer a use case. So when I say a use case, I mean something like Ondo, something like XRP. Whether XRP will do anything or Ripple, they at least have a use case that can provide a solution to the financial system. Ondo, they're having their summit right now. I've been talking about a little bit more. Ondo is positioning themselves as a complete tokenized platform to tokenize securities, tokenize, bonds, stocks. And in my honest opinion, those are the projects that are going to succeed. So I just want to say, everybody that's watching this, if I were you, I would either be playing altcoins on brief periods of outperformance, holding a few quality projects that have performed well. And for most of those, it's been US-based cryptos. And if not, put your head down and learn how to trade, because this market is ripe for trading opportunities. In my honest opinion, that's the best way to capitalize in this market, is to trade it. And if you're not interested in any of that, and if you got a lot of money, great, just buy Bitcoin, because I still would believe Bitcoin is going to go, when I say much higher, probably 200, 300, 400,000 over the next 5 some years. But otherwise, if you're entering this crypto space and you think that it's the way it used to be, I'm here to tell you it's not. I've lived through through each of these cycles, And this one is really bad. It's really embarrassing and it's pretty sad. I mean, I shouldn't say it's sad, but like, I can no longer tell people like, hey, get into crypto. You can make this money. Like, I'm not confident in that manner anymore. Maybe with Bitcoin going up 50, 100%, but the easy days are over. So the game's got a lot more hard. And the best way to capitalize on this game, in my opinion, is to sift through and be involved in altcoins in small periods of outperformance, and otherwise just learn how to trade. Trading is very hard, but if you put your head down and continue to learn, you will eventually be able to get it. So that's my best advice. If you're holding these altcoins, I'm going to cover a little bit more reasons here. It's not fun. Most of these altcoins are at bear market lows. So yeah, DNW says I have to bet the lows are in. We'll see here. I would like to believe that too. I want to lean more towards that, but there's a lot of reasons that tell us that potentially that's not the case. When XRP $5, when Bitcoin goes to 120 to 130, that's my honest opinion there. Or if something crazy happens, it's in a strategic reserve, or Brad Garlinghouse does something crazy. Do you like the timeline in Camp Q1 or Camp Q4? No one knows timing. How are you thinking about it with the data you see and how things are different? DNW, it's a great question. And honestly, I don't want to put my feet out too far and attach myself to anything, because this cycle is so much different. I'm just guessing. And anyone else that acts like they know, even if they have some cycle patterns or this and that, everything I've seen is broken, guys. All of the cycles, like everything, altcoins, alt season, it's broken. We can still find a little bit of comparisons, but for the most part, it's every man for themselves right now. Like to try to predict 6 months in the future, I don't see any value in that. So I'm looking for the next few weeks, next month, and I'll continue to do that as time goes on. Institutions don't want it to be how it used to be either. Hunter's a great point. That's exactly right. When they get involved in this market, guys, it's not going to be this easy get rich quick scheme, and we're already seeing that now. Trading is the best, but not for everyone. It takes a lot of time. Absolutely right. I'm not saying trading is easy, but what I am saying is if you want to be involved in this market and you expect to make a lot of money, I mean, turn 5 figures into 7 figures. In my honest opinion, the best way to do that is to learn how to trade. It's going to take years and years and years, absolutely, but it's the best thing to do in my opinion. Agree, RE, the cycle, definitely not the same as previous cycles. My points 1.8 or above, my best guess. Absolutely, 100%. Brian says, XLM at 88 worth holding. I'm not going to really comment on what altcoins are worth holding at this moment. When I cover the charts more, you guys can ask more questions about that. I might go a little bit more in depth. When's the School of Dom starting? Maybe at some point soon here. XRP dropping to high ones. We'll talk about that. You think in order for us to have an altcoin bull run, we need QE? Richin asked that. It's a good point. It is absolutely a good point, and there's a lot of reasons why. Yes, we need a way better monetary environment to have that type of capital flow around for pure speculation, and that's why you can see. Look at the altcoins that are performing well or have performed well. They're utility. They at least have some promise of utility, so it's no longer spray and pray. Expect everything to go up. You have to really sift through and really be very confident with your investments, in my opinion. If it wasn't for the outperformers, I generally would be miserable. I agree. I was very fortunate to have XRP and SOL be the majority of my investments this bull cycle. So it's pretty sad compared to the other coins. Absolutely. I think right now is finding good short opportunities, finding good longs. I think XRP is a generational short. You could think that, historically speaking, it's not usually the best time to short after we get a 50% pullback, which we'll cover that more, of course. TradingView top 150 versus USDT2 is a great tool. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's super helpful tool to figure out is your altcoin going to zero or is it showing some strength, Is there any similarity with the alt season in 2013? It's too little data for us to look at that. Too little data, not enough liquidity. I don't think there's anything you could really draw from that, to be honest. You think ETH will lose its number 2 spot? I think it's very possible, and we're going to talk about ETH here soon. So let me get through these last few things here, then we'll jump over to the charts. And if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I just started this channel a month ago, and I'll continue to probably be doing these live streams every week. So hopefully these are of benefit. I like them because they're super, super interactive, and hopefully they could, you guys can learn something. That's what I'm here for. Of course, I'll sometimes give you guys my honest opinion, show you guys my positioning, but more so, I'm here to educate you guys and to see that, it's better to teach someone how to fish rather than just to give them fish. And I see some people just sharing hopium, but, I'm here to educate on the 7-8 years that I've spent on this market. So hopefully, you guys can find benefit of that. So the other thing I wanted to cover here is, this right here is the short-term versus long-term holder supply. So this kind of, this is 139 days as a short-term holder, and then anything past that's a long-term holder. So we can see this pink here is a, this is short-term holder supply. What happens is you see right when 2017 came, see how short-term holders started selling off? That marked the top right there. And once they started buying back, that was the top. Pretty much the same concept in 2021. See short-term holders were selling off, marked the top, started coming down. And we're getting the exact same scenario right here. So why this is interesting is because, guys, all of the data I've looked at has showed me that this bull run has been sponsored by BlackRock. As crazy as that sounds, I honestly believe with the monetary environment we're in, with interest rates so high, with quantitative tightening, which means there's not new money entering the system, I truly believe if it wasn't for these ETFs, we would not see Bitcoin at 100K. Bitcoin would be under 50K in my opinion, and we would see a few altcoins tag along like we've seen, but for the most part, this bull run has been sponsored by BlackRock. This bull run is not from retail, and this proves it right here. Retail is selling off. Retail, the short-term holders, we've never even seen this not make a high with the price. You could see each time, so you see how that made a high with the price. Same thing here, but look, this blue did not make a high with the new price. So that to me is just, it's really weird, and it's telling me that this bull run is not retail, guys. Like, honestly, and that's why Bitcoin has stayed steady and altcoins have gotten shredded, because institutions are not involved in most altcoins. They're involved in Bitcoin. So what are they going to do? They're going to keep Bitcoin pretty steady, So this is just something to take away that, guys, retail is not going crazy over Bitcoin right now. Not at all. And here's the last thing to prove that. This right here, this orange line is the active addresses of Bitcoin. 2017, we spiked to about 1 million active addresses, 1.2 million over the last 7 days. Same thing in 2021. We see when we hit that 70K, active addresses made a new high. Guys, look at active addresses right now. The Bitcoin blockchain is not being used at all. It's being used the same amount as it was in June of 2017. What does that tell you? It tells me that this is not a retail-driven market right now, guys. This is a institutional-driven market. And that's why these altcoins have performed so bad. And whether that changes or not, I'm not sure, and no one really does. We can only sit here and guess, but, I'm here to tell you that this is not a retail-driven market. People don't even care to, send Bitcoin around. Active addresses are at the same level that they were. This is 8 years ago. 8 years ago. So just sit and think about that. Everyone thinks Bitcoin continues to grow because price goes up. What does that? People imply that means more people are using Bitcoin. It's the opposite. This is the first cycle that active addresses did not make a new all-time high. 2013, all-time high. 2017, all-time high. 2021, all-time high. Look at this. We're going the opposite way. So, I'm not here to, bear post Bitcoin. All I'm saying is Bitcoin's being looked at as digital gold. Nobody is using the Bitcoin blockchain. It's, and I think most of us know that, but I just want to throw that up here. One other thing here is, this is actually how I predicted the bottom of the bull cycle back in 2022. It was using this halving chart. It was at least one of my pieces of confluence. We could see this basically plots a color since the last halving. So we could see when we get to the green, the lighter green, that's usually a top. Lighter green, a top. Lighter green, a top. And we see the bottom, when the orange turns to a darker orange, more like a red, that's the low. Orange turns to a darker orange, right there, that's the low. Same thing right here. See the yellow turns to the orange, that's a low. We could see right here that based on at least the halving cycle, we're not at that point. At least looking at this where the very light green happens, we're not there yet. You know, we're not there yet. And once we jump into the charts, I'm going to show you my two pretty clear scenarios of the next 6 months, and you know which one I'm leaning more towards. So let me just take a quick break here and look at the chart here, guys. I mean, not the chart, the chat. Keep up the good work, great content. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. Better was shorting XRP at 330, same as Solana and Trump. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to short something that's down 50%, 40% in a week, have at it. Just historically speaking, that's not usually the best option. Maybe if you're scalping, sure. But, you know, there's probably an 80% chance that it doesn't go your way. Still that 20% chance, of course. BlackRock sponsored 100%. Absolutely, it is. People don't want to believe that, guys. But if BlackRock did not enter this market and Saylor didn't, Bitcoin would not be at 100K. I'm very confident of that one. Would Bitcoin need to drop substantially for retail to be interested again? Probably. Absolutely. I think so. And I'm going to talk about that here. And I'll say that real quick, guys. So I'm sure some of you guys know, if you follow me, you know, I'm a big advocate of, you know, the order books, looking at the order flow, because that's what moves markets. You know, that's what actually moves markets. So the fact that Bitcoin is stuck here at 95K, what does it tell you? It tells you that there's not enough buyers. I mean, there's more sellers than buyers, or there's an equivalent amount of buyers and sellers. So you have to sit back and ask, where are those new buyers going to come through? And if it's not new buyers, where are all those sellers going to walk away and say, I'm not selling anymore? That's what we need to happen. And I'm going to cover that a little bit more in the order books here. XRP ETFs are still coming. Absolutely they are. Is this going to make price more stable? It already has made price more stable. Price is a lot more stable. I didn't pull that up, but if you guys want me to show you real quick what that is, here, let me show you real quick what that is right here to kind of prove that, yes, this is a lot more stable. So you see the blue here? This shows us the monthly increase off of the 200-week moving average. We see this blue is very close. And we see when we get crazy, we see a pink or a green. See that green and the pink. See that green. Look at this entire bull cycle. We've been stuck in the blue. We've been stuck in the blue right here. Same thing right here, the blue. What does that tell us? This is a very steady. We have not seen crazy parabolic moves. It's been a very steady bull trend on Bitcoin. So yeah, it's a lot more stable, 100%. No waterfall effect from Bitcoin profits down to alts, no alt season? Absolutely right. You are 100% right here, guys. And that's why, in my honest opinion, the coins that are about to get ETFs, those have the best chances to continue to see alt seasons. Why? Because you could call up your advisor and say, hey, you know, transfer some of my IBIT, some of my Bitcoin ETF into XRP ETF. It's a really easy way. But the rest of that $40 billion in Bitcoin ETFs, it's stuck there. It's not going to go to, you know, Axie Infinity. It's not going to go to your little altcoin, unfortunately. So it's a good thing to just keep in mind. And though not every all-performing alt has an associated ETF being filed, most of them are. You're absolutely right. Most of them do. From now on, Bitcoin is a store of value, the new digital gold. I think that's what it's shown itself to be, and this proves it right here, guys. If Bitcoin was being adopted, we would see a trend like this. Bitcoin has flatlined since the last 8 years. It's going down now. Activity has continued to drop on Bitcoin, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, it's fine, you know. I don't think Satoshi wanted to be peer-to-peer cash, but it's not doing that anymore, unfortunately, for all the Bitcoin maxis. Another question, given that so much is broken the cycle, what are you using for confluence beyond the halving cycle? Really, what I'm using for confluence is the stock market, and more so, I'm not looking as far out as I used to. You know, I used to look more far out. When I called the top back in 2021, I had reasons to do that. When I called the bottom in 2022, I had reasons to do that. Right now, I don't have enough reasons to look more than like a month or two out. And it's unfortunate, but anyone who's trying to do that, guys, they're just guessing, in my opinion. There's not enough confluence anymore. So yeah, BlackRock doesn't care what they use to make money so long as it makes money. You're absolutely right. Have you covered XRP yet? No, I have not covered XRP yet. Stick around. If you know, I know most of you guys probably want to see XRP. I'll be getting to that here shortly. Can you tell us, is there any similarity with the siege in 2013? I said that before. There's not enough data back then to look, in my opinion. I mean, all we see here, like, look at this. This is just not enough data, in my opinion. Not enough data. So when do you think this bull market ends? I don't think that we're on this 4-year cycle here. So either we're going to go crazy. I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion. We're going to go crazy over the next few months, and we're going to top out in summer, probably in a downtrend for multiple months. And then depending on what happens with the strategic reserve regulation, we might see another high later this year. And then we might not even be on a 4-year cycle anymore. And if that's not the case, I think we're entering a longer term bear trend right now. And that longer term bear trend means that later this year, we're going to see higher prices. Because don't get me wrong, guys, people are missing, people are so short-sighted. We have the United States government saying that they're going to create regulation. We have the SEC now more friendly to crypto. Crypto is not going away. I'm not saying it's topped for years at all. And I don't believe that at all. I think it's either we're going to go crazy over the next few months and Bitcoin's going to finish itself off at 150 or so. Altcoins will have their last hurrah. Then we'll probably go in a 6-month bear trend. See what happens after that. I'm not going to look too far out in the future. Or the bear trend has started now and we're going to wait until that regulation comes. It's my honest opinion there. You're my favorite analyst in the space. Appreciate your transparency. Much appreciated there, guys. But yeah, I love to engage with the chat. I don't want to spend too much time. I know some people might not want to just see the charts, so just stick around. I'll be getting to that here shortly. Any suggestions on the best indicators for altcoins that have a chance at some prediction to trade in this market? Not sure I have your exact question there, but I think it's more just market structure. And if you go on my profile on Twitter, and if you search up total 2 or total 3, the top 150 list that I made, that's your best thing to look at when your altcoin's going to outperform. So go look at that whole list. It charts your altcoin top 150 against total 3. If that chart's going down, you don't want to be involved in that altcoin. That chart's going up and it breaks a clear structure. You probably want to be involved in that altcoin for that period of outperformance. I think the market cap of crypto isn't going anywhere near 10 trillion. We think we top at 5. In the short term, I would probably like to agree with that. You look at debt markets, no. I look at a little bit of macro, but I'm not a macro freak like some of these people. Definitely not that. Do you really think Trump cares about crypto besides his own interests? I do. I absolutely do, because he's followed through with what he said. He has followed through. He's almost done everything. So I think Trump, this is no political talk here, but to be honest, I don't think Trump's really out for money anymore, guys. I don't think he cares about making $10 million here and there and there. He has everything. He's got access to everything he wants in the world, in my honest opinion. So no, I think he's following through with what he said. So I have faith in him, and he's followed through with most of it. So in your opinion, what needs to happen for prices to go up? I'm not sure. I don't have a good answer to that because all of the good news is muted. People don't care about that. We should clarify, RE BlackRock is not putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Their clients who trade their ETF are buying Bitcoin. Absolutely. My bad. I hate to say BlackRock's buying because I know people do that on Twitter and they mislead people. No, BlackRock is not buying. They're just buying for their clients. They're selling their clients on this type of stuff. So I think it's one utility. Absolutely. Thanks for popping in, Mooncake. Appreciate that. You make a great job. Thanks, guys. Often, how many days do you go live? You should do this more often. I'm doing this like once a week. I used to do this back then in my Discords I used to run, but just started this channel a month ago. So if you're in this, definitely subscribe, hit the like button. Appreciate it. I'm only a month into this channel, so we'll continue to try to grow it here. But all right, guys. You guys are yapping, which continue to yap. I'll catch up with the chat here in a bit. So yeah, this is all I wanted to go over here on the browser here. We got a few things here. I'm going to pop back over to those. But yeah, let's dive into the charts here. So the one thing here, I want to start off by saying there's a lot of people that love Elliott Wave. I'm not a big fan of Elliott Wave. I think Elliott Wave is so subjective. People say this subwave, of this 5 wave, of this corrective wave, of this impulsive wave. I just think it's haram. I don't necessarily like Elliott Wave besides the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, impulse wave, and then the ABC correction. That's what I used to use Elliott Wave back in 2018, 19, 20. I've moved on since then, but what I did want to say is, this is something that I've brought up, like 2 months ago. I'm no professional here, guys, but is this not a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys know Elliott Wave, tell me in the comments, because I don't know. I don't, I'm not big on this, but like I look at this and I'm like, wow, could it be more perfect? But anyways, what I wanted to say here, and what I've been talking about for a while, is this top trend line right here. So this top trend line right here, sure some of you guys saw my post about this. I went back and I gave many examples of when we break a top trend and we retest it, that's when we usually go parabolic. Same thing right here, top trend, retest it, go parabolic. So I have a very clear line in the sand right now for Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin is going to hold this level, and we're going to go on our next leg to 120 to 150. That is the first case. And if we pop over here, if Bitcoin does not hold where we're at right now, this 94, 93 even, it's got to be very short-lived to 96 where we're at right now. I think we're opening up the door to a dip into mid-80s. And I think that that's going to not be a good scenario. And why that's not going to be a good scenario is because altcoins are already in the abyss. Altcoins have gotten ridiculously shredded. I mean, terribly shredded. So if we sit here right now and just calm down and look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is still in a balanced range. That can change quickly though. And the reason why is this quarterly VWAP right here, this purple line. This is a very powerful VWAP right here. We could see we on our ETF sell-off, that was our low. And right when we broke out and retested that as support, that's when we went on our next leg. We just now tapped that for the first time since before the election. And on top of that, we have this election VWAP, which is this is the white line right here. They're now intersecting. So what does this mean? That means that this is a very powerful area. And I think that if this happens here and that, great, awesome. We can see all these VWAPs right here. Bitcoin needs to get above the 102 range. And I think it's a very good chance we're going to go for those highs. Above 102, I think we go for those highs. Below 95, if it's not short-lived, you guys got to be very careful. That's all I'm going to say. You guys got to be very careful because we've tested this support way too many times. It is way too tested for me to want to get involved down there again. Sure, we could do it again. But if you guys know anything about 2018, the infamous 6K level wasn't an infamous level at some point. And what it says is that the more times we touch a support or a resistance, the more likely it is to break. And that's exactly what happened right here. So I just want to bring this up here, guys. We're at this point where it's like anyone who's trying to predict, that's fine. We have reasons to try to predict. But more so, I think it's a very simple thing that Bitcoin needs to get above 102. These VWAPs come down. We're in good shape. We're probably going to gun for those highs. If Bitcoin breaks below the 94 to 95 and we're spending time down here, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a huge warning signal that we might get a wipe out. And of course, this is the scenario I was referencing 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. This is the scenario where this is a multi-month bear trend. Altcoins, drop or 70, 80% off their highs. And I think we're like teetering on that scale right now, and that's why it's a little bit concerning. It's a little bit concerning because in my honest opinion, it's like these levels right here, when we were retesting this last time, that quarterly VWAP was not there yet. We just had the election VWAP, which we held perfectly. This time, we now have quarterly VWAP and we have election VWAP. If we come down here, we're spending time down here. This is a watch out below. I'm going to be super bearish right here, expecting a range break. And I know that that's contrary to some people, how they play ranges. Some people like to play ranges in the simple way. It's like bottom of the range, you buy, top of the range, you sell. But I'm kind of predicting that this range is about to break. And it's going to break over 102, bam. Or we come down to 94, 95, and it's watch out below, guys. It's watch out below, and I'd be looking for about 86, 85K. So that's my short-term Bitcoin thoughts. To sit here and predict mid-range, I'm just not going to do that. You guys know me. Sometimes I'll give clear predictions, and if you're here to get clear predictions, I'll give some of those sometimes. But right now, I don't see any benefit in giving a very clear prediction right now. I don't have any clear predictions. I gave a clear prediction right here that I was net long and that this market was about to explode. That's what happened. Down here, I gave a clear prediction that this was a deviation. Expect range highs after. Right now, it's too tight. We're mid-range, guys. Look at this. This is the point of control since the election. This tells us the most time has been spent since the election at 97K. So that's why, in my opinion, we're going to go down to like 94 to 95, and it's going to be quick-lived, and that's going to be your low for a while. And we're going to gun back up like that. We're going to come back down here, and we're going to spend time here, and then we're going to go to 85K. Those are my two scenarios. So yeah. See if you guys have anything here in the chat. That's what my eyes are on most. If Bitcoin is in distribution and topping out, good point here, guys. And if you guys know anything about the distribution here, only reason it's hard to say Bitcoin's in distribution is the fact that the altcoins have not went crazy. Altcoins go crazy when Bitcoin's in distribution, just historically. We see altcoins right here went higher. Right here, altcoins also went higher. We could see Bitcoin topped out basically right here. Altcoins went crazy. And that was obviously a distribution cycle. But right now, altcoins are doing the opposite. So we don't have the same evidence. Let's see here. I do hear some people say, I respect there's a chance we go to low 80s, mid 70s. We could continue to possible all-time high after. I think it is possible, but that pushes us out multiple months. Many, many months. So if that happens, don't expect any bullish moves in the next 5 months, in my opinion. Or 3 to 5 months at least. Arches suggests wave 5 is nearing completion, signaling a possible correction. If confirmed, Bitcoin may retrace to key support levels. Very possible. Breakout above resistance would extend wave 5 higher. I agree. Like I said, I don't like Elliott wave. It's way too subjective for me. But the flush from last week, was it justified by the tariffs? Could there be something else behind it? No, I don't think it was justified by the tariffs. And if you guys follow me, you guys saw me talk about how market makers pulled their liquidity towards the end of that move. That's why altcoins tanked. They pulled liquidity. There was a bunch of market selling happening. Market makers stepped away. Altcoins dropped 20% in like hours. But no, that's the unfortunate time, is we don't have something to point that move to besides the tariffs. But that's not enough. It's like Bitcoin didn't care about the tariffs, but altcoins did. Doesn't make too much sense there, So yeah, okay. Next thing here I wanted to go over is the stock market. So this right here is the US 500, and if you're wondering why I'm looking at this, is because we're pretty correlated to the stock market here, guys. We could see right here, Fibonacci retracement. Anytime we put in a high, we come down, we get rejected at that golden ratio, we usually go lower. Same thing right here. Came down, went up, retested that golden ratio, went higher. Right here, we're doing that same thing. And if we go over to the NAS right here, and then we put over Bitcoin, you guys will see kind of what I mean. I'm not sure why that's already on here. Let's see. Put Bitcoin back over here. We see Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, guys, they're near perfect. The NAS 100, QQQ, anything you want to call it. Look at this. Each top and bottom has been perfect over the last 2 months. So all I'm saying is this is one piece of confluence where it's like, okay, is Bitcoin really going to break below the 90K? It's going to be hard to say that's going to happen without the NASDAQ doing that as well. If the NASDAQ gets over this gray box, we're going to gun to those highs, whether that's a trap or not, and we SFP and go back down. We'll see when the time comes. All I'm saying is the NASDAQ's not in a bearish territory just yet. So wanted to throw that up over here. Yeah, the next thing I want to talk about here is, I'm jumping around here, I know, but there's a lot of just different things I want to cover here. This right here is the Coinbase Premium, better called the USDT basis now. It shows when USDT is trading above $1. This is green. This means that the market is risk on. And when it's trading below $1, that means the market is risk off. And as we can see, that usually coincides with bullish times. Same thing here. This is bearish times. So this right here is something I'm watching, because even though Bitcoin's in this death spiral, for whatever reason, we have a Coinbase Premium, or better yet, a USDT basis, above $1. So this is interesting to me. And this right here is also the election VWAP. kind of coincides with exactly what I was showing there before. And then that quarterly VWAP sitting right there as well. So I'm sure you guys can see now, it's like, yeah, this is a range, but do we think that this range is just going to continue to range? I don't think so. This is either happening next or that's happening next. And I give it by February. By February, we're going to have a clear signal on what's happening here next, in my honest opinion. So yeah, let's see what else I have here. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to cover here was let me see here. One second here, guys. Okay. So the last thing not the last thing, the other thing I wanted to cover here was XRP and the comparison of the last few bull trends. So, I mean, the last few liquidation events. So you guys saw I posted this right when it happened, right after we were still at 209 at that time. I basically said I've seen this 2 other times, COVID, when the lawsuit was filed. I watched both of them live, and both of them were generational bottoms. So now let's go look at the aftermath and what we're looking at here now. So we see those USDT. Let me see if I still have these pulled up here. Let's see. So that first one was COVID, and then when the lawsuit was filed. Okay. Just give me 1 second here. I can pull these up. This one right here is going to be COVID. Okay, perfect. Here's COVID. This is when the lawsuit was filed. I said that was when the lawsuit was filed. Let's see here. Yep. If you guys have questions here about XRP, I'm going to do a little bit more detailed analysis here in a second, but I wanted to start off with this because this is pretty important in my eyes. It's a pain doing this here, but okay. This is when the lawsuit was filed. This is COVID. And this is right now. Go back over here to XRP. Okay, so we could see here, if you guys are concerned or confused what's happening here, I just want to start off by saying anytime that we have these liquidation events, the market needs to digest itself. It needs to really digest itself. And when I say digest itself, it never guns back to highs or above them. We take time to stabilize. Let's see time-wise here. When this first liquidation was put in, we had 14 days before we even saw any type of revival, and more so, we stayed in this range for about 36 days. Same thing here with COVID. COVID happened. We had 50 days, 6 months or 2 months of just chopping back up. So right now here with XRP, if I'm going to give my honest prediction, this right here better have been the low. Because if it wasn't, XRP is probably going back down to 130 to 150. And, at that point, we're off over 60% off of our highs. I'm not leaning towards that right now. I'm not leaning towards that right now. I think Bitcoin would probably have to very, very much lose itself. It would have to do that scenario I talked about here where it loses this area and it does the 85K run. Even then, so with how big that this wick is on XRP, we might just see something like that. But the main point of me bringing this up here, guys, is for you guys just to keep your expectations in check here. Unfortunately, when we have these type of liquidation events, the market needs to digest itself. It really needs to digest itself, So, it's a pretty interesting point. And more so, it's like, we could see this, we could see that, we could see this, we could see that. And for the next month, 2 weeks, guys, people are going to be emotions are going to be high. That's all I'm going to say is emotions are going to be really, really high. So, it's a pretty important thing just to keep yourself in check, should I say? Don't expect anything absolutely crazy. Because, historically speaking, after these type of events, we don't see anything crazy. What we see is a lot of chopping that just takes people out. They take their emotions out, and people just get, like right now, people are probably freaking out or, asking, how low are we going? Same thing right here. We go up. Oh, we're back. back down. Oh no, it's over. So I'm just telling you guys, if we look at the last 3 times this happened, or the last 2 rather, we took a lot of time to digest ourselves. And if we see percentage wise, this was a 73% pullback. This one right here was a 45% pullback. COVID was a 55%. Or, if we go from the top, it was 68%, but that last leg down, I'm kind of comparing. Very similar. XRP's a lot bigger now, so we could expect it to not drop as far. But, for me to just say, hey, this is going to happen, and then we're going to do that, I can't do that yet. I can't unfortunately do that yet, because of what we've seen. What we've seen has not been, it's not been something that you just see you bounce right back from, if that makes sense. It's not, what you see is exactly what we've seen right here. And if we pop back over, when this happened, I gave my expectations. I told people right when we tapped back right there, that was the top of our value area. I said, hey, we're probably going to spend some time, trending down here. And look, that first arrow played out perfect. And let's see if the second arrow plays out perfect. Because technically speaking, XRP can come back down to about 220 and be completely fine. I think 220 and doing that would be fine. And I think that that's going to be our dedicated range here. We have 270s and we have 220s. I even gave those upper and lower bounds right after it happened. So all I'm saying, guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if I'm just going to close my eyes and draw what the next few weeks looks like, granted, we don't have the lawsuit passed with XRP, or, it's part of a strategic reserve or anything specific like that. I'm going to have an honest opinion. We could see XRP come back down here, bounce up like that, do this again, bounce up like that, come back down like that. And then at this point, it's like, okay, is the market ready? Great. That's what we would see then. That's like my best opinion on what's going to happen. Unfortunately, and if that does happen, we're looking at how much is that? We're looking at least 2 weeks of just nothing. Boring. So expect me to be posting less charts on XRP. Unfortunately, there's just, I'm not going to just, continue to repeat myself over and over again. It's just, it's the time of where we're at right now. So it's an unfortunate thing, but, at least, hey, we're going to cover some altcoins here in a second. And, don't feel bad, because if you're holding XRP, it's holding up a lot better than most altcoins, even though it did this right here. So yeah, if you guys have questions about that, throw that in. Let me see if I missed any chats here. If the Elliott wave is true, what happened next? Bear market? I would say a 6-month bear market, yes. Well, like I said, Elliott wave in my opinion is haram. I don't like Elliott wave. I think it's way too subjective. That fell 37% in 60 hours. Yeah, we're going to cover ETH in a second. Not saying tariffs were the reason for the fall. XRP started its own cycle of the lawsuit drops and ETFs go through. It could, but we've never seen that happen. So hard for me to say it's going to happen when we've never seen anything like that. But we've already kind of seen its own bull market. We've seen a utility cycle since the election. Look at the coins that are up the most, XRP ETF news would be better when the sentiment is more positive, so more money floods in. Right now is not the time. Great point. Absolutely great point. It would have been a lot better 2 weeks ago. Say we continue with the bull market, let's say the next 2 to 3 months, what would be your most conservative cycle high for XRP? What would be your most bullish cycle high if we have 3 months left? Guys, I know I'm not one to give targets, but I know a lot of you guys like targets. So let me say that, if XRP goes to $7 to $10, I'll most of my XRP will be sold. Granted, it's not, integrated with Swift, or, the US government buys 2 billion, or, something crazy happens. Sure, maybe that's going to change some things. And I know some people say, well, I'll never change my targets. Well, hey, if something big happens like that, maybe it's worth revising some targets, But I'm not going to give crazy targets on XRP. All I'm going to say is if it goes to $7 to $10, I will exit most of my position. And most of that will be starting above 5. But it's not going to happen, without this market at least in a more bullish territory. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. It's not going to happen at all. One piece of education here, guys. You guys ever want, this is something that I learned a long time ago, and it's called the rounded sell-off. So if you guys are analysts, if you guys are traders, just know that when you see a rounded sell-off like this, and I did see this, but I didn't post about it because I didn't want to believe it. When you see a rounded sell-off like this, guys, this right here, I actually mentioned this on the video I posted. I said that these rounded sell-offs are death. And when I saw this happening on Sunday, what was this, Sunday morning? Oh, no, this was Saturday. Yeah, this was mid-Saturday. Sunday morning here, I saw that and I was like, uh-oh. That's not looking good. So just know, put this in your guys' toolbox. If you guys trade, if you guys analyze, whenever you see a rounded sell-off like this, watch out below. So if you're curious how there was some evidence that this was going to happen, the best evidence was this rounded sell-off right here. And with a rounded sell-off is essentially where, we're trending down, and each low can't break that previous, or each high can't break that previous high, and each bounce gets a little bit less, and then each dump gets stronger. We could see that's just like a death spiral. And I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of why my eyes are really peeled up here on Bitcoin, because we're kind of seeing that on Bitcoin right now. Look, we're kind of seeing that on Bitcoin, and what we need to see is we need to see this break quick. And when I say break quick, I mean that 102 area. We break that 102 area, that rounded sell-off now breaks. So we're saved. It's like saved by the bell. But right now, we could see Bitcoin's in that rounded sell-off. Bitcoin is in that rounded sell-off right now. You see how each of these points here, the dumps get bigger and the bounces get shorter. So just put that in your toolbox. A little bit of education there, guys. I used to use this back then, like back in the old days of crypto, and it used to work awesome. Here's even a great example of the rounded sell-off. So we see this rounded sell-off here. It's hard to draw it perfectly, but you guys probably can see what I mean. See how it's not like a perfect trend type of sell-off? Like this is a pretty good trend type sell-off. You could draw a perfect straight trend on here. This, if you're trying to draw trends on these type of sell-offs, it's like you need to continue to draw more trends because the slopes get a lot steeper. We could see how each trend I draw has to get more steeper. So just put that in your guys' toolbox. It's a super useful, just price action in general. And that's why it's like, Bitcoin's got this rounded sell-off. It's got to do that 94, 95 and bounce up quick. We spend time right here. I think the range low is going to break. So, all right here. XRP flirting with 220 range. It absolutely is. I'm sitting in alts like XRP, Ondo, Render, FET. All are down. I'm debating selling now, awaiting a loss. I really, it's hard for me to tell you that, Nathan. It's really hard for me to tell you that. It is. It's really hard because it's like, what would you like? Would you rather just dump them now, put them in cash, hope that they continue to dump more, or would you rather just hold them, hope for a bounce so you could recover some of your losses? I unfortunately can't tell you that. I give a fine line of what I can give you advice on, and that's something that I really can't be doing right now. Or not just in general. I don't like to really give direct investment advice. It's not really what I could like to do. What will you do with XRP profits? Cash, for sure. I mean, at that point, it'll be cash. But my average on XRP is about 30 cents, 20 to 30 cents. So I'll definitely be in cash, just reevaluating the market at that time. Does this round of sell-off work the opposite way? And 100% does. Yeah, here's a perfect example. I love when the examples just hit us right in the face here, guys. See this rounded? See that rounded? Look what happened. XRP went crazy. See if we got another one here on XRP. Here, perfect one. Rounded. See this rounded sell-off right here? Sell-off's getting rounded. If you try to draw a trend, you have to keep making them steeper. Bam. Ooh, the best one was the ETF, or the lawsuits sell-off here. Look at the lawsuit itself. Probably would need to drop down to a lower time frame, but I watched this live. This was hideous. This was hideous. If any of you guys were around back then, this is when the flare airdrop happened. It happened right there. And look, rounded sell-off, bam, dropped 60%. Here's another example. Hopefully you guys can learn something here and see the, oops, let me see if I can fix it. Hopefully you guys can learn something here and see, you know, when I show these examples, they just pop out in our face. Rounded by, went parabolic. So yeah. All right. What did I have next here? Looks like we're coming up already an hour and a half in the stream. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Definitely give me a like, give me a follow. Much appreciated. Helps the algo, helps me grow here. Like I said, it's only been a month, so you know, I plan to do a lot more of this. Unfortunately, this is probably not the most exciting stream. You know, I like to have exciting streams, but you know, look at where we're at right now. You know, I try to just give you just the clear scenarios. And like I said, sometimes if you guys come here and want me to give you the exact thing that's going to happen, sometimes I'll have that high conviction and I'll do that. You know, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know sometimes I'll give you very clear conviction. But unfortunately, I can't do that right now. You know, it's very hard for me to give you a very clear idea of what's going to happen because it's really confusing. And I'll step myself in the foot. I'm just going to give you the clear scenarios, and you know, that's what we're going to play with. So yeah, the next thing here I had was, what else did I have? Okay, Ethereum. So I made a post here a few days ago on Ethereum, and I want to start off by saying this Ethereum uptrend here, we're talking about a 3,000-day trend line. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. That was our retest. So when I posted this back in August, I basically said, if we break this trend line, we were right here. I said, if we break this trend line, there might be a collapse. And this right here was that little mini collapse. We held this bull trend right here. This is our cycle trend. We went up. Everyone was bullish, even me. I'll be honest. I really thought Ethereum was breaking this high right here. It didn't. And now it's a retest. If any of you guys know what happens on break and retests, you probably can understand what happens next. And look what happened next. You know? We're looking at 45% off the highs. 45% off the highs here, guys. So Ethereum just broke and retest a 3,000-day uptrend. And, you know, we're now teetering on our entire, drop down to a shorter time frame here. This is our bull cycle trend. Look at how perfect this trend line is here. You know, we have all these touches since the low. So, you know, this is something I have conviction in here, guys. Listen up here. Ethereum's going to do this. And it's saved. Ethereum comes down here. And we're spending time under this uptrend. We see this. We're not getting bounces. We're doing this. Ethereum is cooked. I'm going to say it confidently. Ethereum is cooked. I'd be looking for Ethereum to go back down to 1,500. And I have a pretty high confidence in that. So I just want you guys to know that's, you know, one reason we haven't seen altcoins is, yes, Ethereum has been the way it has been. But if we look at a 3,000-day uptrend, we see it break and retest that uptrend. We see it drop 50%. We now see it teetering up around its entire uptrend since the bull cycle. This right here was the low. And we're going to fill some of that wick, which we're doing now. And, you know, we're saved. Or we do this. Ethereum's hanging out under this trend line right here. Entire bull cycle trend. Telling you guys right now, Ethereum is cooked. Ethereum's going back down to 1,500 bucks. I have very high confidence in that too. It's sad. It's unfortunate, but I have a super high confidence in that for whatever reason. I just know how trend lines work. And people think trend lines are memes. But to be honest, I tell people all the time, I could probably survive just on price action and trend lines. and I brought this up in the stream the other day with Cade with Wolf Crypto. One of the main reasons I caught the bottom here on Bitcoin at 16K was this trend line. Same concept, 2,000-day trend line. And of course, that was the perfect bottom right there, just on a trend line. So if we pop back to where we're at right now, this is a 3,000-day trend line that we now broke. So what happened if Bitcoin broke this and retested it? You think we would have saw this bull cycle? No. We would have went a lot lower. So we look at Ethereum here, and it's like, you know, if I didn't bet against a trend of this size, how am I going to bet against a trend of this size? You know, it's pretty crazy to say. It's pretty concerning as well. So here's one thing I have conviction in here, guys. This is the low for Ethereum. This is the low, or it's going to 1,500. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Let's move on now. We have Solana here. Go to here, back to the basic template, or my market profile here, template here. We have, let's hop over to the 6-month rolling VWAP and then also to the quarterly VWAP. You guys haven't added my VWAP suite, definitely do that. VWAPs are goated. I've hopefully shown you guys enough reasons why. They're really, really just awesome things, awesome tools. So, okay, if we go here, you can consider this our bull market band, 200, 300 moving average. It's the same concept here with Sol. Like, Sol is one of the better looking coins, and I'm going to cover here towards the end. You know, the coins that I still think are good. Or at least they still look decent. I'm going to cover that here pretty shortly. But, you know, if we look at Sol here, it doesn't have much more to go down. So that's why it's like seeing Ethereum break that low we just showed. That's going to be it for many months, guys. And at that point, it's like, yes, we're in a bear trend. You know, a bear trend is absolutely here if that happens. But we could see, I mean, look at how perfect. We've held this the entire bull cycle. Same thing here basically with the 6-month rolling VWAP. We did kind of play around with it a little bit. So instead of that, let's look at the yearly rolling VWAP. That's a better example. So we see here we have our bull market band, 200 to 300 moving average. And if you guys haven't added my moving average suite, definitely do that too. If you just look up multiple, let's see what it's called here, multiple moving average toolkit by TraderView 2. You can find that right here on your trading view. Super useful tool. But essentially, same thing here with Sol here, guys. Sol can do this, and it's fine. If Sol accepts below its 12-month rolling VWAP, we'll come back down to $100. And then at that point, yes, that pushes us out months and months and months and months of any potential higher prices. We're on that cusp right now. We are completely on that cusp. So if you guys have any questions here, I'll probably get ready to wrap it up here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But if you guys throw in some more questions, any more chart requests, I just have a few more things here I wanted to cover. But hopefully you guys found some type of value here with the stream here today. But I posted this yesterday. This is others versus Bitcoin. So this shows us the alt seasons. And you know, if you're wondering, you know, have we had alt season or is alt season coming? Well, this was 2017 alt season, the best alt season known to man. And we see this 2021 alt season. This was, you know, a very good alt season. And then look at this alt season. This was like an XRP, XLM, HBAR, and, you know, Algo and Cardano and Sol alt season. And some, you know, some smaller coins. So pretty crazy, to be honest. I mean, you know, it's really crazy. But if you're sitting back and wondering, like, why has this market been like this? Well, this is why right here. You know, this is exactly why. And to put this point home even more, look when this alt season started. It started in January after the halving year. This right here was the halving. This was January of the halving year. Alt season started. Same thing right here. This right here was the halving. This right here was January after the halving year. Same thing right here. This right here was the halving. This right here was January, or sorry, this right here was January after the halving year. We just went lower. We just made a cycle low for the altcoins. You know, that's not normal. Not normal at all. It's really, really not normal. And like I said, guys, this is an institutional market. You know, it's Bitcoin's in control. So if you're holding altcoins, just be very careful. Only hold them for periods of outperformance, or if you have some high conviction bags, sure. Like I've held XRP, I've held Sol, I've held Ondo for a decent amount of time. Because I have higher conviction, but that's going to change, you know, here in the near future if things, if these scenarios like I've just showed over the past hour present themselves. You know, but I still believe that this market has juice to go higher, 100%. But I just don't know if it's going to happen next month, 2 months, or if it's going to happen in 7 months. Because if it's in 7 months, what's the good point of us saying it's going to happen now? You know, it's going to be a lot of stuff in between then. One other thing here is Bitcoin dominance. So we look at Bitcoin dominance here, guys. This was 2017 alt season. Look at this. Started in February, January of 2017, the year after the halving year. This right here started in January 2021, the year after the halving year. Here's January, the year after the halving year. We just made a new high. What's going on? You know, our only hope right here is that this is an SFP. This is a swing failure pattern. And in the next 4 days, this is going to drop back down like this, and then that's it. Then we have our alt season. I'm not optimistic about that, though. I'm really just, I can't be, it's hard for me to be optimistic about that, guys. And here I'm going to show why as well. Many of you guys know the Russell 2000. Talked about this a lot. Essentially, this is the altcoins for the stock market. And we see anytime we had an alt season, it was when the Russell 2000 was breaking its all-time high. So we can see this right here is when Russell 2K broke its all-time high. Price discovery, price discovery. Look, that whole time alts were going crazy. So the altcoin market of the stock market was making new highs as alt season was happening, right? Exact same scenario here with Bitcoin dominance. You know, we see this was the previous high for Russell 2K. Right when Russell 2K broke out to new highs, we see right here, Russell 2K broke out to new highs. Alt season happened, right? Right now, Russell 2K is not breaking out to all-time highs. You guys see what I mean here? Russell 2K is not in price discovery. So what does that mean? That means that altcoins of the stock market are not in price discovery. So, you know, why should we expect altcoins of the crypto market to be in price discovery? It all coincides. It all goes together. So for an alt season, we also need to see that. And then one other thing here is if we put up the M2 money supply, you know, during this alt season, this was a lot different because it didn't take much money to move the coins. But look, the M2 money supply was in price discovery. This was quantitative easing, money printing. The printer was going burr. It's 2021. We don't even need a guess. You know, the printer was really going burr back then. But look at now. You know, we're not in price discovery here with the money supply. We're in a constricted monetary environment. So we don't have as much money to throw around. And, you know, that's another reason why the altcoins have not performed well. So, all right. Let's see here. You guys had anything? Eric Trump in all caps at 1.5K. Yeah, exactly, Hunter. That's exactly right. You know, look at what he's done. I mean, they're down over 100 million on their ETH. Pretty embarrassing. I wouldn't put it past Trump to come out and say exactly what the crypto community is wanting to hear to save himself and us from a massive dump and long time low. I agree. It could happen, but like, look at what this market has done so far. This market does not care about good news. I mean, we just had like the House and the Senate talking about how they're going to create crypto regulation. And the market didn't even care. You know, the market didn't do anything. So like, it's not what we want to kind of see, you know? Any thoughts on gold? Yeah, if you guys saw my post yesterday, not to float my own boat, but, you know, I used to trade a lot more gold and Forex and things like that. And back in 2023, I was so confident in a gold all-time high. It was like, if you look back, it's probably a few posts down from on my account. I said that, I think I posted this right here. I said gold all-time high by quarter 4 or quarter 1 of next year, and sure enough, printed perfectly. And look at it since. I mean, absolutely crazy. Crazy. Gold's up 45% since then. So if you guys want to get a little kick out of something, let's throw some of our favorite altcoins on top and see if they outperformed. This should be fun. Wow. Okay, Ethereum's got it. Ethereum's got it by 20%. So I guess you were better buying Ethereum, but still, we're talking about gold, a $10 trillion asset. You know, if we look it up something else, what else do we have to put up on here? Let me get some ideas here. Let's put Polkadot up there. You know, Polkadot was the talk of the town with their parachains and everything. You were better off buying gold. You're only up 12% on Polkadot. Let's throw up Atom. Now, it's pretty crazy. Atom. Now look at, you're only up, oh, that was the wrong scale, but same concept. So, you know, it's a crazy thing. But on this point, thanks for bringing this up, actually. I wanted to show you guys what's happened here with gold and Bitcoin. So, you know, this is a little bit of hopium, I guess. Gold makes a leg up. Bitcoin goes sideways. Bitcoin makes the leg up. Gold makes new high. Bitcoin makes new high 2 months later. Gold and Bitcoin go up together. They consolidate together. Gold and Bitcoin go up together. Bitcoin consolidates as gold starts going into new high. Bitcoin reacts about 3 months later and goes into new high. Right now, look what's happening. You know, gold, new high, Bitcoin going sideways. So, you know, usually this happens, like, look, when gold hit its new high here, we'll consider that. It was about 75 days until Bitcoin reacted. So, you know, it lines up more with the regulations that the government says that they're going to be coming up soon here. But statistically speaking, gold and Bitcoin, they kind of do move together. At least this cycle they have. You know, they have moved decently together this cycle. All right. So I think that's it, guys. Let's see if I have anything else here. This was the last thing I wanted to cover. Just showing what I've been looking at here for a long time. You guys probably saw me post about this. Previous cycle all-time high in total. Same thing right here. It's like this kind of goes into that multi-month bear trend scenario I've been talking about. This is going to be Bitcoin going to that 85. And then at this point, you know, we're in for multi-month consolidation. If this happens, I don't see market gun into new highs, unfortunately. You know, it's going to put us out many months. So, like, we're on that cusp where Bitcoin needs to save itself. Bitcoin could do 94 to 95, quick-lived. It could even do 92, 91, but it's got to be so quick-lived. And then we're good. Then we gun up to 102. We break 102. We're back in business, guys. We are back in business. But if Bitcoin comes down to this 91, 92, 93, 94, and it spends time down here, I have a high confidence it's going to 85K. And what's going to happen there is the total crypto market cap example that I just showed, it's going to break. It's going to break. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. Looks like almost an hour and a half here. Let me know if you've been in since the start. Tell me in the chat. Let me know if you guys got bored, or, you know, if went on too many tangents here. If you stayed interested, if you learned something, let me know here in the chat, and then I'll cover last few questions or last few chart requests or anything. I'll take a look here at Ondo. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. Definitely, like I said, not the most exciting stream, but, you know, I at least presented my idea of what we're in right now and where I think we need to, you know, happen. So yeah, it's just gotta play by the day. Don't play by the day. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, much appreciated. Do you think meme coin Trump could crash the market? I mean, I think that's long gone at this point. You know, if it's I think it would have already crashed the market, which it kind of has. It crashed most of the altcoins. think at this point, though, the Trump coins kind of just sat itself into the market. People don't care too much about it anymore, you know? Let's see, was that all? I guess the last thing, if anyone's still here talking about, wondering about XRP, I'm by no means going to say I called this 50% pullback. You know, by no means did I think that was going to happen. But what I did do 2 weeks ago is I showed you we were at all these most important resistances. You know, I posted this detailed analysis. It got over 1,000 likes. I gave 8 reasons why this was a very, very important resistance we were butting up against. And here, I guess I'll give some updates here on that. But like, look, all of these they all played out perfect in the sense that this was, you know, I posted this, what was this, January 15th, over 2.5 weeks ago. It got 230,000 views. And, you know, if we go back and look, unfortunately, you know, it's been our last final boss. Look, that was the resistance when I posted it. Look when I posted that, January 15th, right at the high. You know, right at the high, I posted that. And look what happened since. You know, what else was there? Let's see what else there was. XRP Bitcoin. Let's see if I got the XRP Bitcoin right here. Here was the XRP Bitcoin. I think I have it on here, though, on the Binance chart. Yep, I had on the Binance chart here. I'm not sure what happened to the resistance, but, you know, if we look here, we were at that resistance level. And look what happened since. You know, so am I going to say I'm really surprised? No, because I technically gave all of the reasons why this was the most important resistance in history. You know, if we go back and look at gold, let's look at XRP versus gold too. Look at that. Look at that resistance. Might as well put another put a little, you know, gavel right there, because it was the final boss once again. So this stands true. You know, 3 weeks later, this analysis stands true, guys. If we want to see big moves on XRP, if we want to see it reach $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, it needs to get above all these resistance levels. You know, it needs to get above all these. So let's see. Oh, it looks like I actually had that on XRP Bitcoin Bitstamp. So let's see if there's anything there. Bitcoin Bitstamp. Uh-oh. Yep. So look at that, guys. I haven't touched any of these charts. VWAP from all-time high. Look at that. You know, right back in the range. 2,000-day resistance level. So it still stands true. Like, you guys will see me calling for $6, $7, $8 XRP, or at least another leg when these levels get broken. When we get above these levels, that's when it's going to happen. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. Let me know if you guys have any last questions here, and then I'll wrap it up. Looks like we went about 90 minutes, but great stream, great overview here. And yeah, I guess my last final thoughts is, you know, seeing stuff like this, we just hope that this is now a range. This right here should be a range. So we should see reaction down here. If not, we should see reaction down here. And if not, 130 to 150, unfortunately. You know, it's just the game we have to play right now. So just keep your expectations in check. Even if this does bounce right here around 220, it's going to be weeks, in my opinion, before we see anything crazy. You know, it's going to be some time here. You think XRP is doing that curve thing you were saying? Not as much. I mean, it's kind of doing it, but not in the same concept of this one. I mean, this right here is a death spiral. It's not really the same. It's a lot wider. And more so, it really isn't at all, because look, we have a perfect top trend line right here. You see how this, I needed a curve to draw that? This, I had that. Once again, that doesn't mean we're not going to go lower, but it's not the same setup exactly. It's like when you see this, you have to always watch out below. That curve sell-off here, I mean, I've seen this for years, and it's just, it's the same thing as if we go inverse. It's like, you know, that's a parabolic start of a trend. So yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, it's It's not a fun time in the market, just to say the least. Okay, last thing here is Ondo. Let's look at Ondo here. So Ondo, Ondo's looking decent. We just had that the summit's happening right now. So it could be a sell the news. But if you guys saw what I posted about the spot buying, I mean, that spot buying is relentless. Somebody's filling their bags heavy. Heavy filling their bags. So if we go over here to Ondo on Coinbase and we draw a volume profile, we definitely want to see Ondo hold that 120 level. $1 to like 115 to like 120. That could present a nice long opportunity as long as Bitcoin's not falling below that 93, 94 and spending time down there. And then same thing, Ondo's still in a bearish structure. So as for upwards movement, we got to spend some time before that happens. Definitely have to spend some time before that happens. So, but yeah, Ondo is, they're making moves. It's a utility cycle. They're making moves. And if we go look over here at Velo, see the last thing I got looking up over here on Velo. Let's see. Spot buying still happening. I mean, this spot buying is crazy, guys. Look at this. Over $220 million net market bought in the last 20 days. 23 days. Even more than when it first came out here at, 50 cents. That was only $100 million. Somebody has filled over $200 million of Ondo. And the price hasn't reacted. It's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. It's very bizarre. But all right, guys. Thanks everybody here for watching. Throw in your last questions about anything. We'll be glad to stick around for another minute or two. See if anything else comes to my mind that I wanted to cover. I don't believe so. I guess the first few questions was about XLM and Doge. I forgot to cover those. Doge is just, with Doge, it's just hard. If we throw a volume profile up over here, this is just air we're falling through. That's why volume profiles are great. It just shows you where there's air. And look, it has definitely acted as air. So with Doge, it's like we just need to see the market just rebound. Otherwise, Doge can come back down to like 20 cents. Right? We could fill that wick a little bit even more. Well, my lowest bound for Doge is going to be this wick. Anything under this wick, we're in bad territory. We could fall right back down to 10 cents. That's why I want to believe those wicks are the lows for now. So, and then the last one was XLM. XLM, similar concept, unfortunately. If we look here on XLM, it's just fallen into the abyss right now. Same concept. These lows right here should be the lows for XLM. And we might just be filling those wicks right now. And if not, XLM's bull trend is over. Not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. So that's why we just got to sit here and pray, guys, that these wicks are being filled right now. And Bitcoin's not going to lose 94, 93 and just stay down there. Because if not, this is a grim next few months, in my opinion. Why am I so depressed after seeing the outlook? Hey, guys, I'm not here to make you depressed. I'm just here to give you the honest opinions, We're not in a fun time in this market. It's not a fun time at all. And just like I started the stream with, this is the hardest time since I started analyzing and trading this market. This is a very hard time. But to clear everyone up for the 60 or 70 people that are still in here, I'm going to tell you this. Crypto is entering the most fundamentally bullish time we could ask for. We have the United States government embracing crypto. We have a potential strategic crypto reserve. We have banks being able to custody crypto. We have the SEC, being friendly to crypto. No matter what happens here, no matter if these lows are the lows, no matter if we go lower over the next month or two, guys, crypto has got a good future. I still am very confident that crypto is going higher. And when I say crypto, I don't know about your little, altcoin. But the altcoins that have shown performance, the altcoins that are being used, the altcoins that have utility, Bitcoin, they're going higher. I'm very confident they're going higher. Whether that happens next month, 2 months, 3 months, or in December of this year, we don't know yet. But just know that we are entering a very bullish environment for crypto. So, if you're sitting here and you're depressed, just zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. I know it's hard time. It might be boring in the next few weeks, months. But just know that we are in we're entering a very bullish time. We've waited for this for years, guys. Years and years and years. Like years to have a, clear regulatory environment. So, crypto is here to stay. Crypto is 100% here to stay. All I'm saying is you need to be very selective on the altcoins you're holding. And, you need to be involved in quality projects. And if you want to trade altcoins, be involved in the short-term outperformance. If not, bag hold them with high conviction that they're going to do something in the world. Don't be holding vaporware. Go add my list here, the top 150 versus total. We go through them. See if your altcoin's trending to zero against the market. I mean, look at Ondo against the market. Ondo's been very bullish against the market recently. Look at the last few weeks just in general, since September. Most of these are just straight down, So yeah, guys, appreciate it all. I guess the last few things I'll show here is the green ones are the altcoins that still look fine, using a 6-month rolling VWAP and a 200-week moving average. XRP, Sol, Link, SUI, Litecoin, surprisingly, HBAR, Mantle, Monero, Radium, XDC, LDO, Kava, and that's all I had. I did this last night, guys. These are the only altcoins that are still holding above their 6-month rolling VWAP. XRP, Sol, Link, SUI, Litecoin, HBAR, and BGB, but that one's up way too much to even talk about it. Mantle, Monero, Radium. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody. If that's all the questions, I'll wrap it up here. Looks like we had about an hour and 40 minutes. Great stream though. And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Definitely like, and look out for the next ones. I might start doing these in the weekends again. I did my first 2 in the weekends. But either way, I'm gonna try to aim to do these at least once a week. Just a nice market breakdown, interactive. And hopefully the next times we're doing these, we're looking at some fun stuff, and I have higher conviction, because today I don't have the highest conviction. And I was honest about that, Regardless, I'm here to educate you guys, and I'm here to give my outlooks, just because I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I enjoy doing it. So hope everybody enjoyed that. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you guys soon.